Who were your earliest cricketing heroes?
Wasim Hasan Raja. I started to represent Lahore as a left-arm spinner in under 19s. I remember the first game I batted at number 11. I was slot to bat at number 11. When actually represented Pakistan, when I was in the final 11, let me tell you, the feeling was like you are fulfilled. You know, your dream is fulfilled.
And you formed a formidable opening partnership with Saeed Anwar.
If you understand each other's game very well, the job becomes much more easier.
Talk us through the 1992 World Cup journey.
It was turbulent, our journey, wasn't it? We started off in a poor fashion. It was bad, and it was progressively getting worse before that game against Australia at Perth.
How important and influential was Imran Khan's captaincy leadership on that winning side?
I think it was a major contribution came from Javed Miandad. You know, he was the one. He was the inspiration, because at one time Imran had given up. He was not 100% fit.
Publicized argument incident with Venkatesh Prasad on the field, and then subsequently being dismissed
because the situation was such. You know, there was no word exchange, just a simple gesture.
And then off the field, would it be fair to say your tenure as captain is also known for the whistleblowing, the match-fixing whistleblowing?
Whistleblower, I don't actually agree with this term, whistleblower. If you either you call it whistleblowing or you say that match-fixing is okay.
So Cricket Life Stories with me, Neel Khagram. Today we're joined by Aamir Sohail. Aamir, how's things going?
Things are very good, no complaints, thank you very much, but these are unusual times, so we have to live with it. You know it very well.
Yeah, it's crazy for all. So you were born in Lahore. Talk us through your earliest memories of the sport. Obviously in Pakistan, cricket is a religion. Talk us through your earliest memories.
It's not only a religion, but it's the most revered sports in Pakistan. Well, my introduction to the game, my uncle, maternal uncle, he was into cricket, and my father used to watch a lot of cricket, but playing wise, he was not there. So my uncle used to play the game, and we used to play in the lawn in our house. And we made a cement pitch there. So we used to play, and it was not very regular. It was just summer vacations and all that. But I remember when India came over to Pakistan in '77, I was only a kid, and my father took me to that game. Actually, the entire family went on to watch that game, and from there on, kind of attention the players got, the the type of accolades they got from players, and the appreciation they got, it really impressed me, and I was actually infected. Or you would say that I was actually was impressed so much that I wanted to become a player for Pakistan. I wanted to represent Pakistan. So from there on, I started to take cricket seriously, kind of, not completely, kind of seriously. And I was carrying on with my studies, and on my, whenever I used to get free time, I used to pursue cricket. And, that's how the journey started.
Who were your earliest cricketing heroes?
Wasim Hasan Raja, no doubt about it. From there on, late Wasim Hasan Raja, rest his soul, and he was a great personality. Very forthcoming to the youngsters, and he was my favorite player. Still is, and I still watch his innings and all that. Enjoy his batting, his leg spin, and he was a brilliant fielder. And then the list started to grow with David Carr, Alan Border, Javed Miandad, Vivian Richards, Gordon Greenwich, and just I kept on adding a lot of players in that. In that era when we were growing up, there were plenty of great players. So it was you could say, as a fan, you were spoiled for choice. There were so many choices, and it was a really difficult thing to actually decide who should be your ideal or favorite player.
And then how did you get into the Lahore system, the first class system? Can you talk us through how it worked back then? And also, were you always a dashing opening batsman, or did you do a bit of everything as a youngster coming through the ranks?
Yeah, that was the need. Whenever you participated in school cricket, you had to bat, you had to bowl, you had to field. The teachers, they used to involve you with everything. I remember when I joined Victoria's Cricket Club in Minto Park. That is the place there where in Lahore most of the cricket used to happen. There were about 20 club nets there, and till now, there are, I think, 7 captains hailed from that particular ground, Minto Park. And, I joined Victoria's Club, and I remember when I went there, I wanted to bat. But the club in charge said, no. To bat in the nets in a club like this, you have to wait, you have to earn it. So he threw a ball to me and said, why don't you start bowling to every batsman? There will be a time when you're gonna have a go in the nets as well with the bat as well. So that's how it started. I remember my parents, they were actually against it. That their emphasis was on education, that I should get a degree, not in sports but in cricket, in engineering. So. My teacher who used to give me tuition, he was a huge fan of cricket, Mohammad Parvez. He was in charge of Sui Gas first class team. He took me to the nets, and he convinced my parents as well, allow him to go to the nets and enjoy his free time. And he's good at studies. He'll manage. So that's how it started. And then when I went to Government College Lahore and I got selected for their side to play cricket, after that, I've made a kind of reputation for myself. And then I was selected to play for Lahore under-19s. To be able to play for your city, you had to participate in club tournaments and also school cricket and college cricket. Those were the times when it was mandatory. Nowadays, it isn't.
And then what's it? Your first class debut was in 1983 for Lahore.
84.
Then, yeah. And during that period, how were you honing your game from a training and mental perspective? Because you made your ODI debut some years later for Pakistan in 1990. So that 6-7 year period, what were you doing? And any advice you can give for young professionals trying to hone their game, make their way in the game as they look to go through the ranks?
I started to represent Lahore as a left-arm spinner in under-19s. I remember the first game I batted at number 11. I was slot to bat at number 11. So, luck would have it, our team was struggling in one of those games, and I asked the manager of the side, the 2 left-arm spinners are bowling at the moment. Why don't you promote me up the order? And I think I can cope with this kind of a spin. So he looked at me and said, are you sure about this? I said, yeah, why not? Let's try it out. Let's give it a go. I went there and I scored 70 odd, unbeaten. And then he said, oh, you could bat. I said, I try. And so he promoted me to number 6 for the next innings. And from there on, from bowling, it switched to batting. And I think it was 1987 when late Wasim Hassan Raja, so rest in peace, he suggested to me, he was captain of Lahore Cricket Association, he suggested to me that rather than batting in middle order, I should start opening the innings. And I told him I'd never faced a new ball in my life. I bat late in the middle order. So I said, okay, why don't you take my word for it? You can play a fast ball as well. And let me tell you, if you start opening the innings, you may have more chances to represent Pakistan, because at the moment, middle order, there is a stiff competition there. It's Javed Miandad is there, Salim Malik is there, Ijad Ahmed is there, who are actually well settled. Ramiz is there. So there are so many options for you to be able to get an opportunity to represent Pakistan. Really have to work hard, and you really have to wait. So I started to open the innings, and it worked for me. And thanks to Wasim Hassan Raja's suggestion, it really worked for me. And yeah, my debut, people say that 6 years, it's a long period when you talk about Pakistan's cricket. You know, you should get opportunities early if you're talented. But let me tell you, I got selected for Pakistan in the squad in 1988. I was in and out. I was 12th man. I was very close. I was actually knocking the door, but it happened in 1990. And people say that I got my opportunity a little late, but I think, when I got the opportunity, I knew my game. I was ready for the opportunities to grab them with both hands. And, maybe it was late or it wasn't, but it worked quite well for me. When I made my debut, I was assured of my technique. I knew what I can expect from myself in different kind of situations. So it worked well in the end.
Yeah, when you got your cap, finally got the cap, how are you feeling? The emotions going through your body?
I just couldn't believe it, because in 1990 I was sick of not getting the opportunity to represent Pakistan. And you wouldn't believe that I was playing my first class game for Sargodha. That was in 1990. And I think I scored each inning 100 and picked up more than 10 wickets in that game. But before going into that game, I told myself it's going to be my final game. And after that, I was going to go and pursue my degree in studies. I was actually adamant, and I decided that that is going to be it. So when the game got finished, I actually gave my cricket stuff to different people. You can enjoy it because I won't be needing it anymore. So when I reached home from that game, after that game got finished, I got announced in the Pakistani side. And, rather than, celebrating it, I was worried, where should I get my cricket kit from? It was kind of, we were traveling the next day. But when actually represented Pakistan, when I was in the final 11, let me tell you, the feeling was like, you are fulfilled. Your dream is fulfilled. You are fulfilled. And that was a proud moment.
And you formed a formidable opening partnership with Saeed Anwar. Talk us through your mindset as an opening pair, your approaches to games together. And obviously, as an opening batsman, would you agree that your mindset does have to be slightly different to those lower down the order? How were you approaching games together, and what was the secret to your success, do you believe?
Well, let me tell you first, it wasn't only Saeed Anwar. Me and Ramiz Raja played quite well as well. We featured in quite a few healthy partnerships, and it was good. And then, Saeed Anwar and myself, when we actually got the opportunity in 1994 or 93 to pair off regularly for Pakistan, one thing was that captain at that time, Salim Malik, gave us a lot of confidence. He called us together in his room, and he said, from here on, you're going to be my opening pair in all formats. And don't worry about the failures. I'm going to stick with you guys. You just go out and play your natural game and try and win the games for Pakistan. You don't have to worry about a thing. I'm there to support you. That was huge coming from the captain. And then, the most important thing for me, to basically form into a good partnership or a substantial partnership, or where you got the recognition, is you should understand each other's game very well. If you understand each other's game very well, the job becomes much more easier. I'll give you an example. That if you know your partner doesn't have the technique to play on seaming tracks, your job is to go out there and protect him. Don't expose him very often, especially when the ball is new. Try and farm more of you just be on strike as as possible. So if you have that kind of understanding and you both are open to each other, you're not hiding. You say, okay, I'm not doing well today. I'm not sighting the ball big, mate. You're going to take charge. Tomorrow I'll take charge when I'm sighting the ball big. So you got to be honest with each other. You got to know your game very well. And at times, you don't have to be shy. Just be open with everything. And with me and Saeed Anwar, there was an advantage because we spent a lot of time off the field together. We enjoyed similar hobbies. We loved watching movies. We loved listening to music. Loved playing squash. There were so many other things, like sharing passions and all that. So that really helped. That friendship off the field really helped us to forge a good partnership in international cricket. So for me, the most important thing is openness and knowing each other's game. And when you talk about mindset, look, when the game was evolving and people used to ask openers to go out there, see the new ball through, and once you are set, then you go after the bowlers. At that time, the pitches used to be soggy. There was plenty of grass on that, underprepared. So the openers, they were forced to go out there and play with measured approach. Okay, but once the pitches were well prepared, covered, and not a lot of grass there, openers were allowed to go out there and express themselves. And it started to happen from Roy Fredericks and then Gordon Greenidge. They were the aggressive players, as openers. And after that, the trends started to follow. Okay, people who used to open innings started to get more aggressive, started to back themselves with their stroke making and all that. And eventually, it has become a trend. And now it is a responsibility of an opener to give momentum to the innings rather than just staying there, seeing the new ball through. It's not the case. So mindset has changed, I think, but the prerequisite hasn't changed. Prerequisite for openers is they've got to have hermetically tight batting technique. They should know how to leave the ball. They should know how to defend their stumps. And if they have that, stroke making becomes very easy. But if you don't have a good technique, man, it's difficult to survive. You can do it on your day, but not consistently.
Talk us through the 1992 World Cup journey, and then specifically the final. Talk us through what was going through the emotions you were feeling the night before, for example. One of the biggest games ever must have been in your career, a World Cup final. Did you have nerves, excitement, and on the day actually winning the trophy? How does it rank in your career?
It was turbulent, our journey, wasn't it? We started off in a poor fashion. It was bad, and it was progressively getting worse before that game against Australia at Perth, where the team got reassembled. Everybody had to say what they had to say, and finally, the thinking actually got cleared. It wasn't clouded. We knew, okay, if we are able to win these games, and the other teams, if one of those teams, Australia or West Indies, have a favorable result which suits us, we'll be in the semi-finals. So that game against Australia turned around everything for Pakistan. Momentum changed. Confidence started to grow within the team, and eventually the team started to gel in. And after that victory from Australia, we never looked back. We went on to beat New Zealand, which was the strongest side, and at their own backyard in Christchurch, we beat them convincingly. We had the stranglehold of the game, and eventually, when West Indies lost to Australia, we got into the semi-finals. Once we got into the semi-finals, we had that belief that from a hopeless situation, we found ourselves in semi-finals, and there is no stopping for us now. So eventually, the confidence was there. It was a difficult game, the semi-finals, but everybody contributed, and eventually we found ourselves in the finals. And finals, we were there, and we had that belief. Honestly, I'm telling you, we had that belief we're going to win. There's a reason we are here. So I remember that game. There was a lot of pressure on few players because our middle order wasn't, firing at that time. Ijaz was struggling. Salim Malik was struggling. So it was eventually four batters who were actually, scoring runs. They had a bit of form. So when me and Ramiz went out to bat, there were so many chatter in the dressing room. You got to be careful. You don't have to take any risks. Just go out there, bide your time, see off the new ball. Things will happen. And that was against Ramiz's nature and my nature as well, because we like to play our strokes from the word go. So it was a different territory for us. The World Cup final, we went out there with a cautious mindset. It didn't work, but eventually that poor start was recovered through Javed Miandad and Imran Khan backed responsibility, and Wasim and Inzi finished off well. And from there on, after we picked up early wickets, things started to get very easy. Everybody contributed. We won that World Cup. We had that belief. And, for a good half an hour, we were over the moon. And then things started to settle down once again. These emotions, happiness and other emotions, they don't last long. They stay for a limited time, but you have to make sure that you enjoy them.
How important and influential was Imran Khan's captaincy leadership on that winning side?
I think it was a major contribution came from Javed Miandad. He was the one. He was the inspiration, because at one time Imran had given up. He was not 100% fit. He was thinking of going back to Pakistan, but it was Javed Miandad who kept on urging him. You are the captain. You have to lead the side from the front. Don't worry about injuries. Every international athlete, it takes ground with some kind of an injury. So come on, muster your strength, and you have to represent Pakistan. It was Javed Miandad who actually influenced everybody. And, his ideas, he was guiding Imran through with everything. And, it really worked for Pakistan. Yeah, Imran Khan was a great inspiration as well. I know he was great at giving the confidence to the youngsters. Like, I give you my example. I was not in the final squad of the World Cup. I was on trials. So I scored a few runs in practice games, especially when I scored runs against South Africa in that practice game at Canberra. I scored 70 odd runs. And after the game, when we were going back to the hotel and we were collecting keys, our room keys at the reception, he took me aside. He said, "You played really well. And I'm assuring you that you'll be playing the entire World Cup. Even if you score 10 ducks in a row, I'll still play you the finals. So that was the confidence given to a youngster through Imran Khan, and it did work for most of the youngsters. So, little things, they actually combined in that famous victory of Pakistan in 1992.
And then Test debut followed 1992, played 47 tests for Pakistan. How did your game change from the shorter format, coloured clothing, to the red ball game?
It didn't change at all. It didn't. I played the same way in a test match as well. You at times you have to play the situation, and according to the situation, you have to adapt. But you don't have to change your original game. If it's a bad ball in ODI cricket, it's going to be a bad ball in test matches. If it's going to be a good ball in test match, it has to be a good ball in ODI cricket as well. So it's just, you have to back yourself in any format you play. You don't have to play airy-fairy strokes. You have to try and play conventional strokes, and you should be able to meet success. Yeah, my test debut, I was not even thinking that I'm going to get a test cap on that tour, because Shoaib Mohammad was consistently scoring runs for Pakistan at opening slot along with Ramiz Raja. So I told myself, okay, ODIs, and that's it. If there is a failure at the opening, at this opening slot, then I might be, looked into, my name looked into. But, when Javed Miandad, I remember, and I was in the dressing room at Edgbaston, I had a knee surgery, and there were few stitches on my knee, and I was lying on the floor after the workout and all that. And it was a rain-delayed game anyways. So I was lying in the dressing room, and I got a kick on my hammy, and I looked, and it was Javed Miandad, and he said, "Get up, go in the nets, you're playing." And I was surprised. I said, "I have few stitches on." He said, "Don't worry about them, they'll come out." So when I got the opportunity, let me tell you, I was excited. Honestly, I was excited. I never thought I'm going to get test cap on that tour.
And then 1996, if we go back to the shorter form, the World Cup, well-publicized argument incident with Venkatesh Prasad on the field, and then subsequently being dismissed.
That is the problem. That is the problem. There was no argument. There was nothing said. People interpret differently. They have to say something. They have to say that, "Oh, I understand the game well." There was no word exchange. The situation was such. Javed Miandad, street smart cricketer, he told us how to rile up the bowler when you think that he's going to take charge, how to move him away from his focus, or what are the aims or whatever he's thinking. So it was reverse psychology, because Saeed and me, we were going great guns. He got out. It just got bogged down, and I thought India is taking charge. They're coming back into the game. So just to unsettle the bowler, because at that time I thought both the bowlers started to bowl well, and there were so many other things we have to take into account. Like, there were 3 spinners, India. There were 1 or 2 others who could actually hurl their arm, and we knew the pitch is going to deteriorate, and it's going to offer something to the spinners. And 1 over was deducted already. We were chasing 287 and 49 overs. So there were so many things we have to take into account. We were trying to bring that required run rate at the end of 20th over to between 5 and 4. And from there on, if we had lost 2 wickets, it'll be easier for the remainder of the batsmen to come out and score runs. So when I realized that, they are settling, the bowlers are settling, I tried to provoke the bowler. Okay, nothing was said. I tried to provoke the bowler just to move him away from his dangerous length, and just to break his focus. I just pointed out something, and people thought so many things that, oh, I lost my temper. This what happened, and the bowler had a few other things to say. Yeah, it was a good delivery he bowled. I was hoping that it'll be a short pitch delivery and I should be able to hit it out of the ground. It wasn't the case. But the thing is, it was blown out of the proportion. I just trying to unsettle, because the situation was such. There was no word exchange, just a simple gesture, and it was like taken into people actually misconstrued it in so many different ways.
You also became the skipper of the ODI side in 1996. Again, how did that make you feel? A proud moment for you, captaining the country?
It was, and I'll tell you a funny story. I heard rumors that Wasim won't be able to play, might not be featuring in the game tomorrow. So I went and went to our assistant manager's room, Salim Yusuf, a very renowned wicketkeeper batsman of Pakistan. I went to his room and I said, I've heard Wasim Akram is not playing. If he's not playing, whoever is captaining the Pakistani team, he should be given enough time to think about things, forge a strategy, or if there is any other thing somebody wants to do. Because I was actually thinking that it might be Javed Miandad's last game of his career. So I said, if Wasim Akram is not playing, so I will have a team meeting and I'll propose that instead that I'll be captaining Pakistan. It should be Javed Miandad. He has the experience and it might be his last game. So just to honor him. But, we went to Intakhab Alim's room. He was our coach and the manager. He spoke to Wasim and Wasim said, I'll be playing the game 100%. So it was decided when we actually turned up the ground. I think it was 3 minutes before the toss. I was given a news that he's not playing. So now I was in a fix. I wanted Javed Miandad to captain Pakistan. And at the same time, my ego was challenged as well. In a way that, okay, if I say that Javed Miandad should captain the side, everybody's going to say that he chickened out. I was in a spot and didn't have the time to think how the things are going to go, but it went well. We were in charge of the game till the 47th over, and then Jadeja, took on Waqar Yunus and added those, match-winning runs, which were like difficult for us to overcome. But we learned a lot from that game. As a captain, when I captained Pakistan right after that World Cup in Singapore, and then we went to Sharjah, I realized that Waqar doesn't have that pace anymore. And he cannot be relied upon with the last overs in ODI cricket. So I introduced Saklan Mushtaq instead of Waqar Yunus. We had to think so many things because Waqar lost his pace. So you couldn't have two fast bowlers with a similar kind of pace and the ability. Like Wasim Akram had that advantage of left arm angle, but Waqar, after losing his pace, it didn't have much to work with in ODI and also in test matches, just the experience. So we had to think about so many things, but eventually when Majid Khan took over the helm of Pakistan Cricket Board, the entire thinking changed, and whatever I was thinking or we were thinking to take our team further was disrupted anyways. So whenever I enjoy captain Pakistan, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
And then off the field, would it be fair to say your tenure as captain is also known for the whistleblowing, the match-fixing whistleblowing, where
that happened. Look, that happened way earlier. Okay, whistleblower. I don't actually agree with this term, whistleblower. If you either you call it whistleblowing or you say that match fixing is okay. It's legitimate. If you say it's legitimate, then whistleblowing. If it's not legitimate, then it has to be a different term. Okay, we told our cricket board way before that, you know, there's something fishing happening, so you have to take care of it. But
Yeah,
it was
what dates did you reveal that? What inclinations were you having that something wasn't right?
Rashid Latif said that in 94. Rashid Latif said that in 94. I was asked in 94. So I don't want to go there because that thing is bygones are bygones. You know, it's we were supposed to tell the cricket board. They were supposed to take the action. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Match fixing. It's ICC's headache. It's cricket board's headache. It's not my headache. It's the headache of people who think it's wrong.
Do you think that you got enough support though from what you did say?
Well, you know, what I felt was supposed to be done, I did it. Okay, and the rest it was because I'm not judge and the jury. Okay, I witnessed something which I brought into the notice, and that was it. My onus was finished. Onus was given to somebody else. It was on somebody else.
And then when retirement came, post the 1999 World Cup, you played until 2001. Were you ready for retirement? And then you also became the selector as well. How did that transition come about?
Well, the thing is, when I actually decided that I should, you know, look into something else because I was not enjoying my cricket. The environment was not suitable for me, so I decided to quit. And you know, I was given an opportunity in the commentary box, and I remember, you know, General Tokizia, chairman of Pakistan Cricket Board in that tenure, I think from 99 till 2004, early 2005. So, you know, he used to have seminars about different, you know, if there was any controversy, or if there was a suggestion, he used to have those seminars and had ex-captains over, and, you know, he always asked my opinion. So I used to give him my opinion, and most of the time it actually, you know, whatever I suggested, it came out to be a good suggestion. And I remember they were thinking of changing captains just before the World Cup, 2003 World Cup. And when I was asked, what do you think? They were thinking of making Wasim Akram into the captain, you know, making him the captain. So I said, why did you make Waqar Younis the captain? What were you thinking? I know whoever suggested that Waqar should be the captain of Pakistani team, what were they thinking? Were not they thinking about 2003 World Cup? Or it was just a knee-jerk reaction when you guys made Waqar Younis the captain? I said, look, your team is not going to do well, whether Waqar is captain or Wasim Akram is captain. Most of the players, they have, you know, done their shelf life, and most of the players are actually liabilities. So you're not going to do well. So I remember that game against India, Pakistan, you know, I said something which caught attention. And I remember General Tokizia said, you know, I want you to select the side for Pakistan. And I thought about it, and I decided to take that job, and I'm very proud. You know, I contributed a lot through that job when I was appointed as a chief selector of Pakistan cricket. At that time, General Tokizia was told that there is no talent in Pakistan, there is no backup talent. And when I got, you know, that role, I went to every major city of Pakistan. I held open trials, and I was able to identify so much of talent. And then that talent was brought to Lahore. And when I told General Saab that, you know, the team you sent for the World Cup, I have 5 better teams than that at the moment. He couldn't believe that. So that was, a challenging experience to be the chief selector of Pakistan, because you can't, keep everybody happy. So, I was able to identify players for the future. And whenever I've got the opportunity to represent Pakistan Cricket Board in any role, I made sure that, I identify things for the future of Pakistan. And the prime example is Babar Azam. I identified him when he was 13. I invited him to the Pakistani National Academies and worked on his technique, emphasized that how important it is to be a conventional batsman, relying on cricketing strokes rather than airy-fairy and, just agricultural strokes. I'm so proud. There are so many long lists, players which I identified. So whenever I represented Pakistan, I represented with all my heart, with passion, integrity, and similar was the thing whenever I did a job for Pakistan Cricket Board.
Yeah, then just one last one to end on. Obviously, in the media now, you must see a lot of talent out there as well. How do you view the future of Pakistan cricket? Is there talent coming through for the future as well? What are the grassroots looking like for Pakistan cricket in all formats?
Talent is always there, but we haven't got the human resource to refine that talent. See, our club cricket is not organized anymore. School cricket is not there. Same is the case with England. State schools, they don't provide cricket facilities to youngsters. Similar is the case in Pakistan. There is no organized club cricket, school cricket or college cricket. So the pathway has to be through very skilled human resource in Pakistan National Academies, because we are emphasizing on the academies a bit too much. And if you are emphasizing on academies a bit too much, then you got to have human resource to be able to deliver. I'll give you a prime example. We saw glory when in 90s through reverse swing, 80s and 90s. But we've been struggling for a long time. Pakistan top order batting is working quite well, but with big names, talented names in fast bowling departments, so many of them, Shaheen Shah Afridi, a few others. What we are lacking is they ball very well with the new ball. Okay, but once it's slightly older, in their second or third spell, they are different bowlers. They're struggling. See, Pakistan is consistently giving away more than 300 runs. The reason we don't know how to deal with once the ball doesn't do anything. Our spinners are struggling as well. And why is it happening? Because our people who are coaching these youngsters, they don't know, apart from one thing, reverse swing. So we have to refresh them, those coaches. We have to introduce them to a refresher course. Okay, these are the things you have to teach the young bowlers instead of reverse swing. If the ball is not doing anything, how to bring problems for the batsman, how to get rid of him. If we are able to do that, then our cricket is going to see the top. If we don't improve upon these things, our middle order batting and bowling in middle overs doesn't improve, we'll be like bowling hot and cold.
Aamir, perfect. Thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Fantastic talking through your career, and all the best for the months ahead.
Cheers.
So Neel Khagram, Cricket Life Stories, Aamir Sohail. Thank you.